Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Big T with GreenWallSt.com, back with another trading video. I know it's been a little bit since I've uploaded to this channel, but I started uploading quite a bit more to the gaming channel, and honestly just haven't had a ton of time to do more than that on top of managing Green Wall Street and trading and all of that, but did manage to record some trades this past week. Market is starting to heat up again. You know, we had a crazy market for, about 6 months from March all the way up until August, and then it's kind of slowed down for the last month. And then this past week we had SPI go up like, 2,500%, 3,000%, and that has kind of stoked a lot of momentum in the small cap market. So as things start to come back alive, now you got to be ready to take advantage of all of that opportunity and volatility and know what to look for. So this is a trade on SUNW. So it was kind of a sympathy play to SPI because SPI ran, it kicked off, like I said, a lot of that momentum to other names. And SUNW, so I'll just kind of tee up the trade for you. Essentially, what I'm looking for, you can see it's about 30 seconds before the market opens. All I'm looking for are stocks that have gapped up a lot, right, in the pre-market, but have also built out a lot of overhead resistance, have just trended down throughout the pre-market. And I uploaded a video a couple weeks back talking about why VWAP is important as an indicator, what it represents. It represents that is the average price that most people are involved in the stock. So it's very often used, especially in the early morning, as a general area of support or resistance. So if you're trading below VWAP and you kind of, push into it, it serves as resistance. And that was the thesis for the trade. We got the big gap up move. You can see that it's up 300%, but it built out a lot of resistance. 580, $6 whole level mark is also a level there. So going into the open, those are the two spots that I'm looking for. I'm looking at VWAP and I'm looking at like 586 level for trades. Just for quick trades, I just want to see it go up, get short into that resistance and then cover into any sort of support levels, cover into any sort of flushes for some really quick, easy trades. So again, 30 seconds, just kind of show you what I'm looking at here. Let me know in the comments below what you guys have been trading. Hopefully it was a good week for y'all this week. Again, intraday, I'm mostly short biased, so mostly betting that stocks will go down. When I'm swing trading, I picked up a few swing trades this week as well, mostly long biased. But here we go. Market opens. I actually want to mute this because I was listening to like T Grizzly and Polo G and shit while I was trading. So here we go. Market opens, stock is sitting at 470. And again, I already know what levels I'm looking for. I know that if the stock ramps up to 520, that I want to look for it to stall out. And then I want to get short. Of course, the risk is it just, squeezes through VWAP, and that stuff happens. And if it does, then, you stop out of the trade. But majority of the time, that's a pretty good level to trade off of and risk off of. So here we go. We're getting that 510 push. We're just through VWAP. So I'm trying not to be too eager here in case it wants to squeeze through. But as I see it start to kind of stall here, it goes 528. You see it falling back to VWAP and it starts to struggle. Well, I've traded these enough to know what comes shortly after that. So I hit it right around 510. Not very many shares. Of course, this is a super volatile stock. It could have squeezed to 6, 7, so I don't want to risk a ton. So 250 shares. And then at that point, I am being patient. So, what I'm looking for to know if the trade goes wrong, if it starts holding, 5 and squeezing back up over 520, 530, well, then all of a sudden, I would have had to stop out of the trade. But instead, starts to reverse. At this point, everybody that's involved in the stock at 5, they're all just slamming the bid and selling. It's a very similar trade to like mRNA, which I posted. I think it was the first live trading video I posted to the channel here. mRNA, I was not patient enough. On SUNW, I ended up covering at a really good spot. So I'm eyeing the 4 area, and I'm trying to zoom out on the chart and just identify like where where are the levels on the chart? So obviously, 4 is a huge level. So that's the first place that I'm looking to potentially cover some, because 4, already been pre-market support. It was also earlier in the morning, resistance turned into support. So 4 is kind of that level, and $1 a share in just, 5 minutes is nothing to laugh at. So here we go. We're finally getting the flush. We're coming down. I think at this point I was, trying my best to stay patient with it. You can see I'm kind of looking at 390s, $4 level. We start getting down there. I don't want to cover it all in one go, so I cover half when we get down there, just in case. You can see it start to go limit down. So into that, I want to cover half, and my limit price was too far away from the price. So I cover half, and I believe it goes into like a fake limit down. It starts, when I was taking a picture to share with Green Wall Street here. No shit, maybe it actually halted. I thought it went into kind of a fake and it just paused there. So, okay, so it halted limit down. I covered half into it. At this point, I'm in the driver's seat. I'm already up like, I don't know, 140, 150 bucks on the trade. And then I just got to wait 5 minutes normally for a volatility halt. So we'll just kind of fast forward through here until we come back. Oh shit. It's a little, okay. Here we go. So stock is coming back online. At this point, what I'm really waiting to see is, do we just flush under 4 or do we start to hold it? Either way, I'm probably covering. If we flush, I'm covering into the flush. If we hold, I'm covering there. So you saw how it dipped under, 375, turned around and ripped. Boom, I'm covering the rest. And now I'm waiting for a bigger bounce. So you want to be selling at resistance, buying at support, not, buying into VWAP, buying into resistance, trying to bet on a squeeze. The higher probability play is that resistance is going to, force the stock down. Support is going to hold and force the stock back up. So now I just want to be patient. And if it continues to go under 4, well, you know what? Then I didn't maximize the trade, but that's okay with me. I'm not going to complain. So fast forwarding a little bit, stock is bouncing up to 450 here, and I thought about shorting some here, but I didn't end up taking any, because again, I kind of have the levels that I'm looking for, the high probability levels. So now that we got that move up to 5, now I'm looking at that 586 level. And I also had SPI on the other screen because those two were trading like in tandem on this day, and SPI was ripping at this point. So I didn't want to step in front of SUNW here at VWAP again. I wanted to wait for like the really high probability play. These stocks are, super volatile, and maybe this is the time that it kind of fake halted. You can see it's still trading here at 506. Yeah, so there we go. It looked like it was going to go limit up, but instead they just kind of hold it there. And now, the limit up raises to 530. Really smart by the market makers or whoever was driving this thing. Seemed like there was quite a bit of manipulation going on, but again, in the driver's seat, already got a profit. I know exactly what level I want to short off of. $5.80, $6 was, clear pre-market resistance. But I'm also like keeping in mind that it may want to squeeze above that. Hardly ever are you going to see resistance at 580 and the stock stops at 580. Like the market's just not that easy. Sometimes it's going to squeeze people out. It's going to run stops and then it's going to turn around. So I was also keeping that in mind. I was like, okay, maybe we get 610, 620, 650 and can short there. So I guess it did go into another halt there. This was a crazy ass morning. It was actually crazy. Let's see when the stock comes back. So here we go. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost 6, 1 minute green candles straight up. This is where, it may be scary at this point to step in front of what looks like a freight train. But, one thing, and, I posted a video on this as well, take less size. If you need to widen your stop, just take less size, because the probability of this thing squeezing, all the way up to the highs, 768. Again, it happens, but like the probability is really low. So on a day-to-day basis, I'm playing the probability. Again, I'm shorting at resistance, and I'm going to win 70, 80, 90% of the time on these, but I'm always prepared for the 10% of the time that it's not going to work. And if it doesn't, then boom, I'm out. I wasn't leveraging my whole account into the trade. It's not a trade like that. It's just, waiting for that kind of squeeze out move, which we're getting now. And then I hit it right at 6. Probably could have got a bit of a better entry on this, because I think it squeezed up to 620, 630 before it really started coming down. So the max I was down on this trade was about $90 on this second trade. And it ended up being just about $1 a share. You can see it start to reject there, and I cover. So there we go. That's how I traded SUNW. And now, I probably could have waited and covered some at 495. I should have done the same thing and covered half, into that initial flush, and then covered half down here. So that's probably where I could have improved some. And then at that point, I'm pretty much done with the trade. Now I go to the higher level, right? So, we started weak in the pre-market. We got up to the first level of resistance. We rejected. I covered at support. Bam. Now I'm moving my levels up. I'm going, okay, what's the second level of resistance? 586. Bam. Shorted there. Covered. Now we're above VWAP. A lot of volume. Now I'll move, up to the higher level. So 740, 750. The stock ended up getting up there, but I didn't end up reshorting. I don't remember why, but that would have been an incredible spot, because the stock ended up coming back down and fading all day. I mean, the real trade was like at 8, because your risk, obviously, if you're shorting at 8, maybe you risk up to 9, but yeah, we end up coming up here, and I think maybe consolidating for a little bit, and then you can see the stock just start to come back down. And shit, I think I shorted some OEG here as well. Kind of the same trade, right? The big gap up, fade all pre-market. I missed my entry right there. You can see it's literally the same trade on SUNW and OEG, but OEG came up a second time, and I waited to see it kind of reject over VWAP, and you can see me kind of zooming in there. And then I take the same trade on OEG. I think I short some, 107, and I don't get filled immediately, but there we go. I fill some. And I wanted like 2,500 shares, 5,000 shares maybe, so I started in with a half size, and I never ended up adding the rest. So I covered some at 1. Again, VWAP just serving as resistance, and then I cover the rest, I think right around, there we go, at 92 cents per share. And that was essentially, $500 day, $600 day in just about 30 minutes of trading. And the majority of that came from SUNW, which was the first 5 to 10 minutes of the day, just keeping it real simple, finding the weakest stock, shorting at resistance. And that was it. So hopefully that helps, sort of paint the picture in your mind, what I'm looking for each day. We trade these same types of setups every day at GreenWallSt. Again, momentum coming back into the small cap market, so we're seeing a lot more opportunities. So hopefully if you guys are interested in trading, you sign up, come trade with us. It's been a lot of fun over the last 5 or 6 months. Just, bunch of new signups, bunch of new members, and people finally starting to understand that there is some edge in trading a bunch of different markets. Whether you're a long-term investor, swing trading. Again, I put on some swings this week as well. Day trading. There is a method to the madness. So if you're interested, come join us. GreenWallSt.com. Thank you for tuning into the video, and I'll catch you right back here next time. Peace out, everybody.